He used to say things like, by 30, you'll probably be a millionaire. And I would say, I want to be a millionaire by 25 though. There's some times where I'm dying to sign someone. First time we spoke, you wanted me to give somewhat of a guarantee.
And then lockdown happens and I'm hit with a hell of a lot. Then I get frauded loads of money. And that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds down the drain. I think there's a massive reason why I own a business and I'm not owned. What advice would you give to 18-year-old Cam? Welcome to the Project Her podcast, where I speak about self-development, self-investment, bettering your individual self, growing your body that you want.
I'll do it.
Okay, I'll let Cam.
Hello guys, my name's Becky and I help career-driven women transform their body, solidify their self-worth and skyrocket their confidence. Welcome to the Project Heard podcast. I'm with the amazing Cameron Okomi, the fantastic, amazing Cameron Okomi, who's also the co-founder of Niche Group and head of client acquisition and paid traffic. I hope you enjoy the pod.
My name is Cam. Cut the crap. Becky, what have you got for me today? Cam. Who's Cam?
Who is Cam? I would say I'm just a very driven individual. What are we saying? Are we getting deep? Are we just on the surface level? Who am I? I'm a co-founder of Niche Group. I am head of client acquisition and paid traffic. So that is who I am to the internet and to the world.
Okay, I'm so glad you said it that way, because on my little page here on my notebook, I've put who is Cam versus what does Cam do? And do you know the difference? And what are those differences?
Oh boy. I think so. I'm not someone, I've tried a lot of different things. So like when I was younger, I tried to do football, then I tried to do boxing, then it was business, then it's just loads of different things. So I never attached myself to the vehicle. It's like business is just at the moment the vehicle that I like and I enjoy and I do, but I don't hold my identity to it. I don't think I've changed since starting to do better in business. So I would say I know the difference.
So who's the person on the inside of the vehicle?
Who's the person on the inside? I find questions like that very difficult to answer. Okay, so if I asked you, if I flipped on you and said, who's
flip
Becky?
It on me,
It's just if I was to, where would you start?
I would start with what I like, what I don't like, what's important to me, what's not important to me.
Are you going to elaborate on that, or you?
No, because you're going to copy my answer. So I want to.
No, I just want to. Okay, so what do I like? I like progress. I like family. I like stability. Okay, what's important to me is honesty, family again.
Do you like people that sell to you?
Well, it depends how they do it. If they make it seem like they're very open-ended, friendly, and then they sell to me, that sometimes catches me off guard. So I don't know, but no, in general, no, I don't like people that sell to me.
Okay,
no.
So you don't like maybe disingenuous people, things, situations?
Yeah, I would say so, because you know what, I'm actually going to take that back. I don't mind people selling to me if you're a salesman. So like if I don't know, if I walk into a car dealership, I don't mind. But don't, I don't know, take my number and be my buddy and then sell to me. I don't like that. But I don't mind selling to me, especially if it's something that I need. But
you don't like an ulterior motive?
Yeah, when it's hidden. I think that's cowardly.
Yeah, hidden agenda.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask is that because I feel like so many people who do business and who are actually really successful on the outside, or they have, like sports people or athletes or, GB people, whatever it is, people that do things at a high level, struggle or forget sometimes who they actually are deep down and what they actually thrive off of and what actually aligns with them internally. Like, why do you do all this business stuff? Because there has to be a massive reason why.
Why do I do it? I do it because I've said it before. I just wanted to be great in something. But it doesn't matter what it was. I didn't mind. Like, for me, the greatness and progress is more important than what it actually is in. So, like I said, it was football. Wanted to do football, realized I wasn't going to be great in football. Then it was boxing, because sports was my number one thing. That was the thing I was naturally best at, and I was inclined to. I liked it. But then I also could turn my hand to business and using my brain as well. So when I switched to that, this is now just the thing that I'm on. But it's nothing to do with, like, I guess I didn't love football and I didn't love boxing, and I also don't love business. I love, like, progress. I love the act of doing it more than anything.
Where do you think that resilience comes from?
I don't know where it comes from. I've always been stubborn. I've always been really stubborn and like something I say, I can eat shit. I'm good at eating shit. I'm good at just doing shit things. If I see like what's in the future, if I want what comes with it. So like at school, I wasn't good at studying at school. I didn't really study at school because I didn't believe in the system or whatever you want to say it. But in this, because I do believe in it, I can do the hard things. It's like, yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I think I've kind of always had it though. I've kind of always had it. Even when I was young, I used to suck my fingers, but religiously when I was a kid. And then I just woke up and I was like to my mum, yeah, and mum, I'm not going to do that anymore, you know? And then that was it, bam, cold turkey. I just stopped. I've always been mad extreme. I'm like that. When I was playing football, there was one summer that me and my friend, every morning, we'd wake up at 7, we'd go on a run, and we go play football. But that was just every day. Like, I just find it easy to be extreme if I believe in what it's going to bring me.
Would you say that comes from having like an addictive personality?
Yeah, I do. Would I say I have an addictive personality? It's interesting. I feel like when my mum watches this back, she'll be like, of course.
Shout out to mum.
She'll be like, of course. Yeah, shout out mum. But she'll say, of course you do. I would say so. I do. Yeah, I do. Like, I'm someone that like, even recently, like I played chess and I lost. I was playing against someone and they were very good. And I was like, okay, cool. I really don't like losing. And because I don't like losing, I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to play again. But now I just practice chess every day. So I'm like that. I'm a weirdo. And then I'll make it boring. It will like, I'll come back and then play chess and then win. And then he'll be like, oh, that's just boring. Like, there's no fun in it.
It's interesting because I think to myself, do us business people, do we end up this way because of the things that we've been through? Or were we always like this because of, like, is it nature or is it nurture?
I think it's a bit of both, man. I think all things are just a bit of both. I just think it's just like finding new games. I just gamify everything in life. My sister, I always say my sister's boyfriend, he's very good at speaking. He's very funny, and I see skills like that and I'm like, that's a good skill. I want that skill. I'm going to practice that skill. But it's very like, I just gamify everything. So then I'll be like, how can I get that skill? What I'm going to do is every time I'm around a crowd, I'm now just going to speak. And I'm just going to, I don't know. It's just, that's just what I'm like. It's whether it's business, whether it's whatever it is. It's like, even with business, I see the money. I don't really care about the money. I say it all the time. I don't really care about it. I don't spend anything. Don't care about it. I just see the money as like points in the game. And it's like, how many points can I acquire this month? It's just literally everything in my life. I just gamify and make fun of it. And then that makes everything a bit easier.
So I guess you just reframe the word monetize into gamify, and that makes business a little bit less daunting.
Yeah, and it's less serious. Like, I don't take it serious. Like, a lot of people take it mad seriously. I don't really take anything seriously. It's weird because I do take it seriously, but I don't worry about it. I don't stress about it. It's not like, this sounds weird. It's not like my life. I think I'm amazing anyway as it is, and I'm just currently doing this business stuff and I'll get loads of points at it. But it's like, if I didn't have points, I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I'm not as serious about business as most people are. I probably do it more than most, but I've got a less serious approach to it. It's fun to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you said earlier that you have, your values in life are family and stability, those two things are the complete opposite of what someone who runs a business is, you know what I mean, aligned with. And on paper anyway, like for someone who runs a business, stability is not what comes with that.
Do you know what? I'll take the stability thing back. No, but in the sense of, so cool, for me, money isn't stable. I like to be stable in emotion, in how I feel. The stability, again, because most people, and I'm in a fortunate position where I don't have to, but money to me doesn't make stability. Stability's in my mind. If I feel stable, then I've got stability. Whether I'm just moved to Dubai, whether I've run out of money, whether I've had a huge month and a low month, I still feel stable. Because I don't attach myself to the money. So it's like, if I had no money, I'd wake up and I'd play the game the same way. In my mind, that's stability. So I guess to most people, it would seem a bit, what I've said, stability is weird, because I'm always willing to bet it all. I'm always willing to risk it all, but I still feel stable in doing so.
So I know obviously your business partner is very passionate.
Yeah.
Would you say you have the same passion, or would you say you have a different angle in the way that you do business?
I'd say he's more passionate than me.
Yeah.
No, I think he shows his passion more. I don't know if he's necessarily more passionate towards it.
Would that mean that you have the passion but you decide not to show it, or do you have
not
the passion
decide
and you don't
not
know
to? Not even I don't know how. It just comes across in different ways for me. I'll give you a good example. So like with Trist, who's obviously my business partner, Trist, he'd be planning to go to bed. I don't know, he might be brushing his teeth, whatever. and then he would have a spark or something, and now he'll be up working from 11 until 6. And he would just do that. Whereas me, if I had the idea, I'd write it down, and then I'd wake up at 6 to work on it. So it's just a different, it's like his passion is like a burning passion, whereas mine is like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's different. It's just it comes out in different ways.
He's like a right here, right now, and you're like a let me box it up when my mind is in the right space. I wouldn't even
agree with that.
Really?
I'm just more on, I found when I act on my passion, I would burn out quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas he wouldn't, because there's always something that's exciting and more passion and more. And there's always more. He's always able to find more, whereas I'm not. So if I stayed up until 6, I would then stay in bed the next day. I know about myself. I'd stay in bed the next day until 7. Then I'd feel really bad about myself.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh my gosh. Whoa. Whereas he would stay up till 6, go to bed for 2 hours, wake up at 8, and then come into the office and be like, oh my days, I was just working on this thing. Oh, like there'd be more. Whereas with me, it wouldn't. And because I'm aware of that, I'm not on. Even if I have a mad passion, I still wouldn't stay up late and work on it.
Where do you think that level of self-awareness comes from?
I just watch things. I'm quite quiet. You know, you've been around me enough now to know that I'm just. If people are talking, I won't talk. I'll just watch. If it would just be 2 people in the room, obviously I'll talk. But other than that, I just watch. But I'm the same with myself. So I just watch things, listen to things. I just find it interesting. I just find it really cool. Yeah, I've always found it cool. And I think I'm quite good. Not amazing, because sometimes it's difficult, but I think I'm quite good at being honest with it. So not hypercritical of myself, but then also not just saying that I'm good and giving myself excuses. I think I'm quite good at that.
You said that stability was being stable within your emotions, which I completely agree with, by the way. However, I know that it was difficult when I asked, like, who are you? And you were saying, like, what do you mean, like, who am I? Like, do you want to get deep? But what really is deep? Or is that going too much into your emotions? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, do you know what? It's not that I hide from my emotions. I just genuinely, like, it's not like I feel something and I don't show it. I just don't feel a lot of things, man. Like, it actually takes a lot to bring something out. But it's sad because even in happy times, it's harder to make me super happy, but it's also harder to make me super sad. It's just genuinely like my threshold for feeling things just isn't that much. And the reason I said about deep things is because I would say I'm a deep thinker and I can be very deep, but I would find it hard to say who I am. Just would find that difficult. So that's why I avoided it. Not because it's like I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
I just don't actually know how to answer that question.
Yeah, no, I find it interesting because I was the same. I was an athlete in martial arts, gymnastics, cheerleading, dance, etc., you know, at a high level at a very young age. So I know what it's like to come off that wagon, jump on the next one, be good at it, and jump on the next one. And then, you know, everyone's hating on you in school because you're the kid that's good at everything, and you're the sporty one or whatever the hell it is. And then I think, is that the thing that made me a business person who, do you know what I mean, is passionate about this, passionate about that? And then on top of that, I went through so much emotional stuff, you could say, in my life that kind of like numbed me to not feel anything. So people would say, oh, just like don't try and get excitement out of Becky because you'll never get it. Or like, don't say anything to Becky expecting a huge reaction because you're never going to get that.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah, and you know, like people be like, oh my God, this thing's amazing, and I'm trying to like be
yeah,
excited,
I find it awkward.
I
find it awkward, man. Someone will tell me something and I think, boy, I wish you didn't. They'll be like, oh, look at it, listen to this story, this is so amazing. It's like, I feel amazing, I'm happy for you,
but it's not coming out.
But it's hard for me to, and now I have to, so I find things like that difficult. I do. But with me, it's not like, nothing particularly bad has happened where, like, it's not, with me, there's nothing conscious about it. It's just what I'm like.
Yeah.
I think my dad is that to the absolute extreme, like absolute extreme of me. I'm sensitive. I've got some sensitivity to it, but I still am a little bit like him.
Yeah. I just wonder if, obviously, from the past and going through all the, you know, having to be good at stuff and like having to push away your emotions and having to blunt all that stuff when you're a kid, when you're doing all these sports and stuff like that.
Nah, not with me.
You don't reckon?
Nah, not with me. Not having to, nah.
Because I wonder if that's why I became resilient within my emotions. And now I'm so much more, I'm trying to be more emotional, however crazy that sounds. I'm trying to bring myself, like, this is why I ask the questions, because I wish somebody asked me the questions 10 years ago. Yeah. I wish somebody put me on the spot, and like, I love when people challenge me. Yeah. I love when people go into my brain and ask me like, so how do you really feel about that? Because I'm never going to ask myself.
I agree. I agree. Do you know what's so weird? My sister's the complete opposite.
What, she's emotional?
She's very like, if you saw her today, you'd know whether she's having a good day, bad day. If her boss gave her a promotion, if her boss was just shouted at her, like, you'd know everything about her. With me, you wouldn't. I could have just made 100 grand today and I would walk in and you say, how are you? I'd be like, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I could have just lost £500,000 and come in and you say, "How I'm all right." Like it's always the same. But again, that's not because I'm hiding it. I just feel all right. Genuinely, I just feel all right. But then when I was younger, I used to get angry when I was young. The only thing that brings emotion out of me is competition.
Really?
I really like competition. Yeah.
Well, again, and this is another reason why, you know, and I don't think it has to be a bad thing. Like, I think it's a good thing. If doing all this competitive sport, chess or whatever the hell you were doing when you were a kid, that brings out a massive element of competition in you.
Yeah.
So has it played a part in some way maybe of you being like, well, nothing really matters other than this thing. If I win or lose, that matters. But if I lose or win to me, it don't really matter.
Yeah, I would say in the sense of kind of compartmentalizing things. And this is something I was saying the other day. My business brain thinks about the business. So like if the business made a lot of money or lost a lot of money, when I'm in that business zone, that's all that matters. Is very important. In my social life, when I leave and put the laptop down, it no longer matters. That is just a game. Same way in like the sport. If I was playing a sport, the only thing that matters is that sport at the moment. Winning this game, winning this set, whatever game you're playing, winning that. And then afterwards, again, in my normal life, it doesn't matter. It's like I break things up. I think compartmentalizing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so this is obviously a skill that most entrepreneurs, me also, find really hard to do. And I find it hard to section stuff out. I find it hard to switch off my personal life from my job. I'm trying to get better at that. But what would your advice be to someone who, you know, for all the entrepreneurs out there who are watching this, who are thinking, who is this guy? And like, what can I get from him? What would your biggest piece of advice be to people who can't detach from work and personal?
I think it would be to not attach you to the business too much. It's like I do things, but that isn't me. Like I'm only me in social life. That's the only time I'm Cam. Every other time it's like I'm a character. It's a game. I pop into the game, bam, it's business time, it's this, it's that. Outside of that, I'm just chilling out. And another thing, and I don't know if I could even help with this, is, and I always say this, I just don't care that much. Like that actually just helps. It's like I've got the perfect line of caring enough that I'll still do it every day, and I'll wake up and I'll be able to eat the shit and go after it. But on the flip side, I don't actually care that much. Like if I make money, don't make money, it's just all that other stuff is menial. It's like all that matters to me is that I beat the day. So again, I'm competitive with me. It's like I beat the day. That's it. I had a good day. Bam, perfect.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So for anyone who's watched the other podcast with Trist, he was wearing the same Cut the Crap t-shirt. Yep. Hence, obviously, these two are the boys that work together. Thank you, Cam. Do you want to say it one more time for the people?
Fill between the gaps, cut the crap.
Trist said something on my podcast where he was like, I feel like it has to be painful enough. And you've actually just said the complete opposite to that. You said, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
What he said, it has to be painful enough to make a change. Yeah, I agree with that. But for me, it just doesn't. It's just, I'm very good at, I'll just set my mind, this is what I'm going to do. Whether the job I had prior to this, I had a good job. I would have been rich with that job. I was a lift engineer, but I worked with my uncle and he was very much supportive. It was very much like, look, if you do this, you get this degree, you do this, then I'll give you this more. I would have 100% had money by the time I was 35 or 40.
So you didn't always work for yourself, by the way?
No.
Interesting.
Not always. I didn't. No, I didn't. I will jump onto that in a sec. But what I was going to say is that, and he would say things like, you want to make money too quickly. And I'd say, yeah. And he'd be like, you can have money when you're 35 or by 30. He used to say things like, by 30, you'll probably be a millionaire. And I would say, I want to be a millionaire by 25 though. And then for now, I'm just thinking, okay, cool. Now, bam, that's a challenge. And I'm very, very, like I said, I'm very stubborn. It's like, so now I just want to be a millionaire by 25 now. Was there that much thought into it? No. Did I sit down and think, I must be a millionaire by... It just was something that came into my head, was cool. And I was like, that's a challenge. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to be a millionaire by 25. And now I get deep into it. It didn't start with a burning desire. My life was good. I didn't work much. I had a good job. I had a nice company car. Like, everything was good. Everything was sweet. There was no big pain. I was just like, I just kind of want to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
You know what? It's really interesting that you say that. So with Army DC, my other dance school, the other company, which is a dance school, that company, I was never going to teach kids. I was never going to teach little ones because that wasn't really the thing that we were amazing at. The thing that we're really, really good at is tapping into adults who don't have a platform like that, or teenagers or whatever who think they're too cool, you know, for like stuff like that. But actually, we're the cool kids that bring it out of them, right? So that's kind of us. And we went to this dance dance competition, which again, I said I was never going to do. And I said, I'm never going to compete because it's bitchy. It's not a nice environment. It's, you know, I'm worried that my kids are going to get sent down that rabbit hole that they don't deserve to be in. Anyway, we took them to this competition and there were like mums pushing kids. There were people in the background saying, you know, like the RMDC shouldn't be allowed on this stage because their dancers are professionals, bearing in mind they're a group of 15-year-olds, you know, stuff like that. And just anything to bring our kids down. And I thought that whole day just baffled my brain because all I had in my head every single day was your kids this, your kids that, you know, like you shouldn't be doing this, like trying to spin the judges out, trying to spin the owners of the competition. And I just thought, you really made me now want to put on kids classes for the whole of Reading and take over and save every single child in Reading because of this mad mentality that you lot have. And I feel like I now have a duty now to, like, before I was supportive of all the dance schools. Now I just think screw it all, because
fuck them other dance schools, man.
And not
fuck
even
the dance schools,
honestly,
no,
and not even from a point of like, you know, we want to compete against you. I thought that they were supportive of us. So I did everything in my power to like, guys, make sure you're polite to everyone, like, you know, people probably know who you are, like make sure you give everyone a high five, hug them, like make sure you're nice to everyone, you know, like just show everyone what we're about. And when we got none of that back, and I mean we had like looks like this and you know, people looking you up and down, you just think you're literally 12, like who asked you, who taught you to be like that? And when you say that the competition drives you, that was enough drive for me to go, screw it, I'm going to put on a Saturday school and I'm going to save all the kids of Reading, because I don't want the kids of Reading growing up like that.
Cold.
You know what I mean?
Cold.
And I think I'm the same as you. And this conversation is actually interesting to me, like properly, because I see a lot of me and you actually, and I didn't realize that. I thought that, you know, I was more like Trist. And actually I see that maybe not, because when you're saying that you have the sporting background and then, you know, competition's the thing that drives you, it's definitely the thing that drives me too. And I never thought that was, but if I'm really honest with myself, that's one of the main things in this world that I think, you know, hate.
I'm a big competition man. I get upset sometimes that not enough people hate me. I swear to you. I swear to you, I'm on that. I want more people to dislike me. It's better for me. I'm someone like, even the fact, so I don't know, like I said, my whole thing is about being great, right? I don't know what great is. I don't know what it is, but most people think that it's money. So if you think it's money, then I'll get more money. It's like, I want to be better than you at everything. So like, whatever, what do you do well? Oh, you're super fit. Okay, cool. I want to be fitter than you. Oh, and you've also got money. Oh, I've got more of that than you. Oh, and you also, what else do you do? You play football well? Oh, I play football better. Like that's my thing. I just want to be better at everything. It's like, I want to be super well rounded. And at the moment, business is just the one that I'm focusing on. I've always found that when I try and focus on more than one thing, it goes mad. So at the moment, it's just business and it's just, I guess, just money, I guess at the moment, just business and creating something great. And then once I feel like I've got more money than you guys, now I will run a marathon. Like, I'm just like that. I just want to be, you
see the challenge, you set it, you do it, and you go to the next
but
one.
there's nothing big that has to set the challenge. So like I said, with Tris, his thing is pain. And I think for most people, it is pain. It's like when you get super overweight, that's when you start the gym. With me, it would be something random where I might be arguing with my friend and he'll say, oh, bruv, you're skinny. And I'll say, oh. And I'll take things in. It's even like Tris will find it interesting. There'll be phrases that I'll say and I'll just say them. I'll be like, he said that, you know. And it'll be like a week back, I'll be like, but he said that about me.
I am exactly the same.
Yeah. It's like I posted the other day and Kai from CEO of You podcast said, I thought you got hacked because you post, because I don't post on my Insta that much. He was like, I thought you got hacked. So now all I keep saying to myself is, he thought I got hacked. What do you mean I don't post? Like, he thought I got hacked and that's why I post. Like, I'm someone now, in a week's time, I'll bring that up again. Same way. Bro, you thought I got hacked. Are you mad? Now I'm just going to post. That's literally it. That's something that would drive me.
Yeah, I am very, very similar. I take a lot in and I don't say a lot. And I think I say a lot about the stuff that I have articulated in my brain first and then put it out on paper second, which is why I go cold for a bit, as you know, and then I just like shy away for a little bit and then I come back with the most. You know what I mean? But that's not me trying to be a difficult person, but that's me trying to do better than what I used to do in the past, which was either jump at things that weren't right for me, make emotional decisions and then realize I wasn't actually ready for that thing, and that's a me thing, that's not anyone else thing. Or actually I never used to take the time to understand what I was supposed to take the time understanding. Like, to be a good business person, I realized I had to step back and stop running because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at running and chasing the next thing, like, again, you know, like matching the next challenge or doing something that makes me better than somebody else or whatever in that thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think, hang on a minute, okay, you managed to achieve this and I'm having a conversation with you, and we're not that different. All right, cool, challenge accepted. Thank you. Let me just go and try this thing, you know, and let me just try it first. Yeah. No, and that doesn't come from a negative thing of like, I don't like you, so I'm gonna be better than you. I just think, cool, you're pushing me. Same with my relationship. We do the same job. And both of us, it's very evident on both of our social medias. It's when we met, both of our social medias went bang. You know, like he told me, like, Becky, people really care what you have to say. And I just thought no one cared. I thought like my following's really small. Like no one really cares what I have to say. Like, who cares?
That small though.
It is kind of small compared to his 500,000.
Yeah,
it's small.
Yeah.
And he used to say to me, like, but Becky, like no one really wants to hear me talking. And I said, no, they do. Like everyone wants to hear what you've got to say, because 2 minutes ago you were just the person in the face, and now, you know, and basically having these conversations enable both of us to go, okay. And both of us at the time didn't admit that we had these things we needed to work on, but both of us started working. And I didn't
competing against each other.
Not even against, like he would plant something in my head, and then I'm thinking, at the time I'm not saying, yeah, you know what, you're right, but I would just try it anyway. Or the same for me, I'll say something to him which he might disagree with at first, but then he's already doing it. And he admits it after. He was like, okay, Becky, yeah, like I'm doing the thing that you told me to do. And I said, I didn't agree. And I didn't agree at first, but now I agree. And I think it's that small little thing of like, it's like healthy competition. Being able to make sure it's healthy and not toxic.
Yeah, it's always healthy, because my thing is that I don't want anyone to do worse.
For real.
I want you to do well. I just want to do better.
I know you're going to say that.
It is. Yeah, I just want you to do well though. Like you can make $500,000. I just want to make $500,000
and a pound.
Yeah, that's it. But then the thing that's so interesting is I say that, but I guess that comes from a place, if I'm completely honest, comes from a place of somewhat insecurity and scarcity. So if I'm really honest, I don't need to be better. But if you made $1 billion and I try to also make $1 billion and I end up making 500 million, that's really fine with me. I think, I don't know, obviously I haven't got there yet, we'll have to see, but I think that'll be okay. So I never know if these things are healthy, and I always say like, I'm not the best at doing healthy things. Everything I do very extremely, and it's probably not healthy for most people, but for me, I find it fun and I like it. So I don't know, that's what I do. As
long as you wake up happy and healthy, then what else matters, right?
100%. There you go.
Perfect. I wanted to speak about investment mindset versus a cost mindset and what that means to you, because I think it's all well and good, me as somebody who is a self-development coach, someone who, you know, works on fulfillment and all of those things, to speak on self-investment in that sense. But there must have been a level of self-investment in yourself for you to even get to this point in the first place. Talk to me about that.
In terms of the investment, like I said, I had a good job and I spent all the money that I made. I think I saved, and I always say the number will change because I just don't remember it, but I like to say cool numbers. I think it was about 15k, but don't quote me. It might have been 20, might have been 17.
15k for what?
Just on different courses, different stuff. Now, I'm a big advocate of those because those changed my life. I don't know if the courses were necessarily good, but what I do know is when I bootlegged courses and got them for free, I never learned anything from them. And then when I paid, it now meant that because I've paid, I'm committed to it and it has to now work. So I'm a big advocate of it, man. I always say you got to pay with something. It's either time or money. If you've got lots of time, then use your time. If you got lots of money, then use your money. Most people don't want to pay with any of them, which is where people go wrong. People will talk to you and they'll be like, I want to make 100 grand next month. And it's like, okay, cool. I've made 100 grand in a month. I can help you do that. I'm going to charge you 20k to do it. And they'll say, no. Okay, cool. You're just not going to make 100 grand next month. It's very unlikely. You might, but you probably won't. And another thing is, if you believe in it, like I always believed in it, I would now spend everything we've earned this month. Me and Tris are the same. We'll testify to this. We'll put it all back on the business.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's why when people don't want to put it back on the business, I don't even want to sell them on why you have to invest. If you don't want to invest in yourself, that's fine. I spoke with someone yesterday, actually had a good call, very good call, was explaining to him how I can help. He had an agency. I was explaining to him how I can help, why we can do it. And he might have just not been bought into me. I think he was, but he might not. He said to me, I don't think spending 5k at the moment is I'm just not on spending 5k. I said, okay, got you. Just out of interest, I didn't even want to sell him. I said, just out of interest, what would you spend? He'd say about £1,000. I said, why? He said, I just wouldn't put 5k into my business. And I said, okay. That was all I need to know. I said, okay. If that is the reason, obviously he could have been telling a fib or whatever, but I think, okay, I'm not saying to everyone that you got to invest and you got to give us 5k and you even have to spend 5k. You don't necessarily. You could just put time into it. But the fact that you just cause, like the reason he just doesn't want to put 5k is just cause, I think you're not on it. Like I put all my time and all my money into it. So you think you can put a portion of your time and a little bit of your money into it and do well? It's not going to happen.
So out of interest, how much, obviously everything's relative, right? And I say the same thing. I always say that people who don't pay attention. And I know that from what I do. If I sold what I sold cheap, there's no way people are going to
100%.
be changing their life, doing the hard stuff,
100%.
changing their diet. You're not going to do that.
100%. Do you know what? I got something to say on that. I mentored someone for free, someone I know. They turned up to the first session and never turned up to another one. Do you know how offended I was? I was like, do you know how much money people paid to be in this same seat that you're in? I was mad offended. So from then I was like, you know what? You've ruined it for everyone. The price is going up now. Doubling it. Fuck it, I'm doubling it.
Well, we have the same thing actually with my other company, and like, you know, we did a favor for someone because, you know, she, I don't know, missed out a few dance classes or whatever. So we said, it's okay, like come to this for free, like as a favor. That word then went round the company, and we then had to say to her, unfortunately, you're going to have to now pay because it's now caused so many issues for the rest of the company, and it's actually just not fair on everybody else. And we thought we were doing you a favor, but actually we've done the whole of the company a disjustice by us thinking we were being nice to you. But it doesn't work like that.
I don't do favors anymore. If you do someone a favor, it just doesn't work out well. So like there was things early on where like even if it was staff, there might be staff where they would say to me, hey bro, like, and when at the start, obviously everyone I worked with was kind of young, so we'd always reason with them and I'd always be cool with them. I would never get onto them. They'd say, hey bro, like I'm trying to take this girl on a date this week, like is there any chance you could pay me a bit earlier? And I'd be like, cool bro, like yeah, of course I can. I'll pay you half now and half at the end of the month. Then the next month he's like, yo bro, can I get that again? And then now it's just an expectation. So it's like favors just don't work. And then for example, I'm not saying I needed it, but say there was something I said, yo bro, cash flow's really tight in the business, any chance I could pay you a week later? He would never say yes. And it's the same with everything in business. It's like you give someone a discount, that's cool, but now they don't appreciate that. And it's like, I'm just not on doing favors anymore in business.
Yeah, I mean, it's like self-value, self-respect, and differentiating, doing somebody a favor because you're being nice to them, to you lowering your boundaries and not being nice to yourself. Yeah. Because if you're not nice to yourself, then how are you going to pour into everybody else's cup when you haven't poured into your own? Yeah. And second of all, how do we feel as business owners providing our service to people for the amount that we charge because we believe in what we're doing so much? And the same for you guys, like you believe in what you're doing, but just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that it's not the right thing. Do you know what I mean? And like sometimes I think there's different buyers, right? And this is a whole other conversation now. There's different types of buyers, as you know. There's also different types of sellers, and it's kind of having the same type of person connect on a level. And I think this is an interesting conversation for me because now I understand why I bought from you. Yeah, honestly, and this is just obviously this is a raw conversation that's going on the internet, right? And basically I pay Cam to do paid ads for me. That's what I do. And Cam said, I'm not going to guarantee you anything, do you want it or not? This is what I do, this is how much it is, black and white. And he's plodding around the room. I said, Cam, can you put your camera on? I can't see you right now, like I need to see your face. He's like, do you really need to see my face? I'm like, no, I just need to see it. Like I just need to just see that you're being real. And as long as I know that you're being authentic, whether you're in sliders, swim trunks, I don't care. As long as I can see you're authentic and I know that you're just being whatever you're being and you're not trying to be this and that, that sits well with me.
But you know what, again, I think that all goes into, I'm very, very rarely, there's sometimes where I'm dying to sign someone sometimes, but most of the time, and I feel like you got the same vibe, it was like the first time we spoke, you wanted me to give somewhat of a guarantee, and then we spoke again and you're like, is there a guarantee? And I said no. It's like, I value your business, but I'm not gonna just oversell something if there is no guarantee. You work if you like, don't work. And I think that I'm never eager to close someone. I'm not eager, I'm chilling. It's like, I know it's good, it's like, and I feel like I stand on my pedestal and it's like, I won't meet you there. You want to get a guarantee? Talk to someone else then. Yeah. I'm good at this. I know I'm good at this. I've been doing it for a while. It's like, this is where I am. Kind of take it or leave it. And I think because of that, I think you appreciated that and you could feel that it was like, I'm not even trying to sell you. I'm just the best at this. And I believe that I'm the best. And I feel like you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you could feel that and you were like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think things have changed as well for even the way that I run my business. So obviously, yes, okay, I run a business, but I also do something for people which is extremely personal. It helps people on a personal level. It helps people come out of, situations and then elevate them in the way that they feel about themselves, their confidence, the way that, the way that they are, person that they look at in the mirror, how good they feel about themselves, etc., etc. And that is a really sticky road to walk down trying to sell to someone, because I don't feel authentic selling you your dream this and dream that. However, there has to be but it's difficult, and this is just me being honest, right? Like, it's a difficult conversation to have, and for anyone that has had a conversation with me or is looking to sign up, it's hard for us too, because as much as this is very authentic now and this is completely raw to the core, as much as I want to help you, And as much as I know what I can do for you, what I'm not going to do is hard sell to you and feel like I'm being disingenuous when I know I can help you. But what I do is not, I'm going to make you 10 grand this week. Mine is, I'm going to flip, you know what I'm saying? I'm selling such a personal thing.
Yeah.
But I'm still selling.
See, I sometimes do the opposite. If you need this and I don't think you'll do well any other way, I will hard sell people into it. I'll even pressure them. I'll say, no, you're not even having time to think. Sign now. Because I know that's when it's something like, you aren't going to do well without me. And I know it. I just know it's like, I know you're going to get scammed on the next call. And if I can see that, it's like, I almost feel like it's my duty. Like, it's almost like, I feel like it's my duty to work with you. Yes, you're going to pay. And yes, we're going to get a gain out of it. But you aren't safe on your own. It's literally, it feels like that. With you, it didn't. It was like, we can definitely help you. But it's like, you'll be cool. Like, your experience, you'll be cool. That's why it was more like, but if I felt like you're about to sign with someone in paid traffic and you had a talk with someone else and they had promised you all this stuff, I would have hard sold you, because I'd be like, they're not the real deal. We are. You've got to sign with me. You have to sign now. Here's a contract. In fact, here's the invoice. Pay this now. I would have been on that.
It's funny that you say that, because when I was on the retreat, I had all the guys, so 10 of us around a table doing a podcast like this, which is like the scariest thing for someone that's never done a podcast before, saying all their emotions down a microphone, right? It's one of the scariest things ever. And I do you know what? Salute every single one of them for just even trying it. But at the same time, every single one of them was in tears that day. Every single one of them broke down. And I said, on the pod, and I said,
what are you doing to them, man?
and again, it's not because of things that I told you. It's questions that I asked you, which brought things out. So, and this is obviously all anybody does. I'm not asking you a question for you to cry. But the fact that we're all here crying, and one of them said she was crying her eyes out, bless her, and she said, I haven't cried in 2 years, and I definitely haven't cried prior to that in front of anyone like this. And I said, well, think of it this way. Like, you finally got to a point where you feel like you're in a comfortable environment of human beings that actually can mentally understand what you're going through. And now you feel safe enough to just let it out. Like, do you not see that as a huge positive in all the tears that you just cried right now? And you feel weak, you feel vulnerable, you feel like you're being, whoa, this is a lot for me right now. You feel overwhelmed and all those crazy things now. But I know that it's my duty. And I said this to them on the podcast. I said, I feel like as much as this is hard, and this is hard for me to watch you lot upset, it's hard. But at the same time, I know that in the future, you're going to be 10 times better with other people. You're going to understand people better. Some of it comes from guilt. They felt bad because they had upset somebody else because of something that they said, which wasn't personal, but it just affected them, because normally you're not going to have the person in the middle saying, have it out. And that's all that happened. How do you feel about this? And then they have it out.
Oh, it was to each other at some point.
To each other.
Oh, wow.
And this actually just came out on the podcast. So it was never supposed to be like this.
That's it.
But I'm glad that happened, because I felt like, you know what, it's as much as I look like the bad busybody in the middle right now, I feel like I've done something which sits right with me, which has show you all that it's great to be exactly who you are, to just say how you feel up front, and you're always going to get the best back when you give so much honesty to somebody else. And by being authentic to you, you can be authentic to others, and then you're going to get that back. But if you don't do that, you're going to start feeling anxious, nervous, feeling on edge, feeling like you're all of those things, and that's when you're not doing yourself any favors whatsoever. And I feel like it's my duty to do that, however hard it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm on that. I'm on being mean to be nice. I can do that. I don't mind if you don't like me. I don't really care, to be honest. It's like, this
is what I say. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here for you to be great.
But I can help you. If I can help you, I'll be mean. I don't mind.
So in terms of obviously cost versus investment, what's the difference?
Well, I see a cost as something that doesn't come back. It's a cost. It's an expense almost. An investment is something that does come back, and I'm always on investing. Like, however long it takes to come back, it doesn't matter. So like, I'm cool to pay something. So it's like, cool, content. We pay a lot of money on content every month. Organically, I don't really use my Instagram for client acquisition, really. So none of that at the moment is actually coming back. But in 3 years, it might. Now, I'm still pumping money every month, and I do it with a smile, and I will continue to do so, whether it's for cameramen, whether it's for events, all different things. I'm on doing that. That still, to me, isn't a cost. It's still an investment. Even if it never comes back to me, I deemed it as an investment, so I'm fine with it. Costs, I'm a lot more, I don't like costs. If it's never going to come back, I don't like it. I can throw all the money away if it might come back.
Yeah.
If there's no chance of it coming back, I don't really like spending it.
Yeah.
That's how I approach things. But I'm on spending it all. I always say that.
One thing that I started doing recently was getting rid of all my clothes, all my stuff, all my clutter.
You got lots of stuff though.
I got a lot of stuff.
I just see as I walk through.
But that's all stuff I'm getting rid of in my spare room.
Yeah,
I would show everyone if we weren't sat on a kitchen table. But yeah, that spare room is like a Blackbush Market for anyone that's been, back in the day. But all of my designer, all of the Mercedes, like all that stuff, I was thinking.
But you still got a Mercedes though.
Yeah, because I'm in a lease. But it's like, why did I buy this?
Yeah. See, I was never like that. Like I said, because
you're
I
smarter
don't
than I
care. No, do you know what? It's not even. It's that I don't care. I don't care so much where it's like, people tell me, come on, man, make us look good. Like, it's like, even, I know you have to look, and the thing is, I'm buying into it more now, so I might show a little bit more now because I know that now being online, as I've kind of stepped out of my little box room, I understand that if I look the part, then it attracts people and whatnot. But naturally, I don't care about that stuff.
It was interesting because, sorry to cut you off, but when I was in Dubai for all that time, and I'm just posting me like smiling down the road, like wearing, I don't know, £10 shorts and a bikini. Really, everyone now wants to buy from us and everybody wants coaching.
You look lit.
Just because I'm happy.
Yeah.
I am being exactly what I'm selling and what I'm coaching.
The Dubai thing helps though.
Well, does it help with what I'm doing? Because self-development and Dubai are two very, very opposite things.
No, it does. That sun helps, man.
The sun helps, but then, okay, so what about this then? A lot of women in Dubai, you know what I'm going to say here?
I don't know. I don't know if I even want to talk about it.
Have things done to them for the external purpose.
Okay.
That's not what you thought I was going to say?
I don't know what you was going to say. I was just treading carefully.
No, but, and again, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, that's
fine. I don't know
fine.
if I feel like that's true though, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Compared to the UK, you think that it's the same ratio?
Well, where are you going in Dubai? Like, if you're going, same way if you go to...
I'm walking through the airport, in Dubai airport, and it's just as mad.
Fair enough.
That's the airport.
Fair enough.
And it might not even be, it's not even people from Dubai. It's people who are going to Dubai, for that lifestyle, whatever. And you're thinking to yourself, what led you here? And I think, and one of my girls actually, she said to me, she was like, Becky, I feel like I've worked so hard at the gym, like to come on this retreat, and all I'm seeing is like fake boobs, fake ass, and I just wonder why I even worked that hard. I said, what are you talking about? Like, that's the biggest strength that you have over anyone here, is that you feel good on the inside and you worked for it, Yeah,
but she doesn't feel good on the inside though.
Why do you say that?
Because if she's doing it for the wrong reasons, she must be. If she feels like she's worked hard, why did I work hard?
Yeah.
To me, that's proof that you're doing it for the wrong reason. And in as harsh a way as it is. And in fact, let me not even say the wrong reason, because there is no wrong reason to go to the gym. If you just want to go to the gym so you can be extra sexy, that's fine. I don't actually it's like people like to say there's a right reason to do things. It's fine. If you want to make money so you can buy a Lambo and pull loads of girls, who am I to say that's the wrong reason? If that's what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anyone, then all power to you.
I think that's like a 1% mentality, right? But I think 99% of the population, which is why people like you and I are here, doesn't work like that. It's not a case of, I just feel great anyway, so like, whether you're like fake or you're real, whatever, great. That's how someone like me thinks and someone like you thinks, because we've done all this work from the beginning and we've been through those competitive decisions and, situations. But 99% of the population are never going to think like that until they do this investment first. And I truly fucking believe that.
What investment? With you? What do you specifically? Think?
Not even with me specifically, with any type of coach. So for example, like if you do something where you're bettering yourself in some way, your self-value and your self-worth is going to go up.
100%.
Whether it's business, whether it whatever. And some people might see investing in a BBL as a self-investment. And if that's what genuinely makes you feel good on the inside, do it. That's not what I'm saying here. But 99% of the time, that's not the case. And a lot of people that come to me who have their boobs done leave the 15-week program saying they're gonna take them out.
Yeah. People just aren't happy, man. People aren't happy and they do mad things. But do you know why? Again, people care too much, man. That's why people care too much about all the small things. I don't. I think it's genuinely. I think it's a blessing. But because because I think I'm amazing, I don't need the other stuff. It's like, in fact, sometimes I think people are a bit, I almost pity some people. It's like, I'll be around people and I know you guys don't have money, but you look like you have money, and I almost feel bad. To me, I've always said that screams as insecure. It's such a common thing to be done, and it's so normalized and it's cool. And I'm not to say that I'm never feel insecure, but I think if you're buying this stuff, it is just insecurity.
Well, it's external validation, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we were all sat in our own houses with no one looking at us, would we buy designer? No.
That's what I always say. But then on the flip side, you could argue that everything is that. There's no, this tracksuit is Nike. That's something. It's not the most expensive thing, but it's still something. If it was Slazenger, would I buy it? Maybe not. So we all have it to some extent. I don't ever want to do that and be like, oh no, I'm just better and I think I'm amazing. There's a bit of it in everyone. But a big thing on me is like, look, I like designer clothes too. But if you see me in designer clothes, you'll know that I'm just gone. I've got so much money that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I do care, but I don't care more than the goal. So to me, the goal is to keep investing in the business, keep growing it, keep growing as a person, and growing the business. That comes before anything else. So I don't take money out of the business. I don't.
I agree, by the way. I think I've seen both sides. So I've seen me at 18 make loads of money really fast, not know what to do with myself, didn't know what scaling even was, didn't know what that word meant back then. I just knew like to make money, I just need to work done. And that's all I do. Burn myself into the ground, and I ended up with like 10 designer bags, and then I went traveling. Yeah. That's how much it burned me out. Yeah. Spent all my money, and I thought, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm Beckie, I can just do it all again.
Get back. Yeah.
Right. And then I'm hit with another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And then lockdown happens, and I'm hit with a hell of a lot. Then I get frauded loads of money. Then I get hit again. And that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds down the drain. And then I just thought, I hate money. I actually hate money. Like, I need money to do what I do. 100%. So do you. So does everybody else in the world. And especially with this whole cost of living crisis craziness, which let's not even get onto. But life's hard, you know, when it comes to finances, and you actually have to hustle to kind of do well in this life at the moment. And I think to say that you don't is you know, some people are like, oh, just like sit back, it will come, the money will come. Like, yes, the money will come, but only hustlers say that when they've hustled. I don't feel like the money just comes by just doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think there's a big group of people that think they're just gonna get there one day, and it's not. Like, it's cut the crap. Like, it's not. No, it's actually not. It's like people will be like, oh yeah, man, I'm sure one day I'm going to be rich. No, I'm sorry. Like, one day I'll be in shape. One day I'll be happy. One day, no, the one day is no day. Like, it never ever exists. If you're doing stuff to make it happen, then it will. But the people that are doing things to make it happen do not say one day. They don't say one day they'll say, if I keep going along this trajectory or whatever, then I'll be where I want to be. So no, I definitely agree with that. I would say, just to your earlier point, I don't really like money, but other people do. That's actually my main thing. Other people do. So I know if I make money, if I buy someone something, they like it. They're happy. If I don't know, if I send someone money, they'll be happy. If I can, in that sense, I like it because it does bring me happiness when I give it away. Not to me. The numbers don't matter to me, but they matter to other people. So if I can make other people I care about happy, then it makes me happy.
Interesting. Final question. You're like,
hit me. No, this has been good. I've enjoyed this. I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm glad.
No, this has been good still.
What do you feel like you've learned in the last hour about yourself?
Oh, about me. I'm going to say something bad. I don't think I've learned anything about me.
What's I knew you were going to say that. What's your reason?
Because I think I was already very self-aware. I think it's hard to ask me things that makes me learn something about me, because I am someone that will spend the time off their phone and a whole day to just think. And because I do things like that, I find it hard. Most people, what I realize, the reason that people, it's like cool. In most people's day, they think of cool stuff when they're in the shower. Or it's like, oh man, I should have said that to that guy when they're in the shower. That's because that's the only time that you're doing nothing. With me, I do nothing for loads of the day.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm not on my phone loads of the day.
So you actually do self-investment all the time?
Yeah, I don't even mean to. I just realize when I'm being hectic, the time flies very quickly and I lose it. It's like, I like life, so I don't want to lose it. So for me to not lose it, I take times of being bored. I want to be bored at some point every day and do nothing and just phone away, everything away, and just sitting doing absolutely nothing. And when I do that, then I can have my clearest thoughts. That's when I can reflect and be like, you know what? I did that out of ego. That was bad. I was rude to that person today. You know, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't work that hard today, mate. It's just having different thoughts. It's like when you're busy, and it's like you might notice when you're sad or if you're dealing with heartbreak or something. It's like You don't feel sad until you're in the shower or you're in bed. That's the things that should make you realize, right, I actually have no time to myself.
Yeah, I watched the Jay Shetty thing live, actually. You know, Jay Shetty went on tour. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's so he does a lot of mindfulness. He used to be a monk. Now he does life coaching, etc., etc. Has a massive podcast. I'll show you afterwards. Anyway, I went to watch his live tour and he put someone in a box for like 10 minutes straight with nothing, like black dark screen. And it was interesting because she did really, really well. She just sat there still. But I wonder how many people would have actually done that and just sat still in that box, or would you be like fidgeting, wondering like, where's my phone? Because the first thing people do for real is like go on their phone, they scroll, and then you think, do you ever catch yourself on your phone scrolling and you think, what am I actually...
Yeah, you feel like a scumbag.
Not even scroll... Yeah, you feel dirty. And it's like, I don't know about you, but
do you know the worst one for me?
I like tap on things that I don't even need to tap on.
Yeah, you know the worst one? I'll come off an app and then go back on. I've just come... Like, I'll go off Insta, refresh it. I've got the newest thing on the feed. I'll come off Insta and click back on. Nothing's on there. Like,
yeah, and we know there's not going to be anything.
Yeah, that's when I feel like a real scumbag.
Yeah, and that's... I think that is the trap of society, because when we're so busy all the time, you and I and everyone else, you're in the busy phase, like the busy mode, and that
do you know
busy mode,
like
tap, drink this, do that, right?
Yeah,
this,
I'm actually not busy because I don't accept it. I don't do that. It's like, again, another thing that's the difference between me and Tristan. Again, why we work well. He's busy. I'm not. I don't do the busy thing. I like to in our office that we're designing. I said I don't care about however the whole office is. I don't care. You do your thing. All I need is a room that's quiet, that I can be in. I can close the door and I cannot hear anyone else. I don't do busy. I just don't do it. I'm too laid back to be busy. I don't rush. I don't rush. If I'm late, I apologize, but I don't go hectic. I'm not gonna, oh my gosh, I'll call this guy on the move. I do that. No, I'm sorry. I'll cancel that guy and I'll come in my, like, I'm very respectful of my own time, man. I don't rush. I just chill.
Do you feel like other people feel like you're not respecting theirs when you're...
Possibly, but I think we should all respect ours the most. So I always apologize. I'm sorry for being late, and I try to set things in advance so I'm not late. I won't be drawn out by anything. It's like me, I'm on me.
This to me before.
Yeah, I'm on my thing. You can't annoy me today. You can't make me sad. You can't do anything. It's just me. That's literally all it is. It's a very, like, I guess in a bad way. It's a very kind of self-absorbed way, but that's just how it is. Yeah, it's just a Cam show.
I mean, it's all that whole thing of being in control all of the time. And I feel like if there's anything I've learned about you today, is that Cam likes to be in control way more than you think you do. So, like, for example, being in control of your emotions, or like being in control of, hang on, people want to jiggle my thoughts today and not today.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you want to ruin my time scale. No, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And you being in control of your own life, I think comes from a heap of self-experience, self-development.
Yeah.
You know, being self-aware and just knowing, because ultimately, to get to where the position that I take people to is building a huge level of self-awareness. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And you have that, which is why you find this stuff easier to deal with.
I learned that about me. I wouldn't have thought that before. But I make you right on that. I think that's correct in terms of, like, I'm someone where if someone tries to force me to do something, or I feel like you're trying to get me to do something, I just won't do it now.
Same as me.
Oh, you want me to? Okay, you're saying I have to buy today. I'm not buying then. I'm not buying at all. How about that? It's like anything. It's like, if you want to force me, if it's like, you got to come back now or else. It's like, if you would have said to me, hurry up or the podcast is cancelled, I would say, all right, I'll turn back around.
Well, that's funny you say that, because obviously a situation that you and I both know about is the reason why I ran away.
Yeah.
Right, and for that exact same reason. Not because maybe I'm not even reading what's in front of me. But if I feel like I'm being pushed, then I pull.
Yeah.
And I can't help that. And, you know, I actually said this example in another podcast of mine, but I remember when I was little, when I was a kid, my dad would always be like, Becky, go to bed at this time, go to bed at this time. I was like, Dad, have you just stopped telling me what time to go to bed? I'll go to bed early. And it happened, you know, I'd always try and go, if he wants me to go to bed at 10 p.m, I'll go to bed at 10:01. Like, if he wants me to go to bed at 10:30, 10:31. Yeah. And as soon as he stopped telling me, when he was like, all right, cool, fine, if I'm not going to test you. And then I go to bed at like 9 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I don't know if I'm like that. See, I hear that, like, though. I hear that though. But so then do you think that you just had a problem with authority?
I think there's a massive reason why I own a business and I'm not owned, if that makes sense. Like I could never be an employee because I'm a crap employee. I will do so much of the work. I'll do everything you ask me to do. That's not a problem. But the problem that I have is that, and I had this in my old jobs, I used to work for Microsoft, and I would do 2 weeks worth of work in a day. And then they're like, what do we do with her? And then I'm asking for a pay rise because I'm like, I'm actually valuable to you. I work like a crazy person, like give me more. And then when they're saying I'm not giving you more, I say, okay, that's fine, I'm leaving. You know, and that's kind of the issue that I had, is that I knew I had so much more to give, but no one was allowing me to do that.
Do you know what? It's interesting. Earlier you said you were surprised that I had a job. I can listen to people if I respect them.
Yeah.
But that's it. If I don't respect you, and for me, respect doesn't come from money or the status at work or anything. It just comes from in. If I think I respect you, so like I said, I worked with my uncle. And I respect him a lot, not just because he's got money. To me, he's a stand-up guy. Obviously, my whole life's been a stand-up guy. I respect him. He could do anything. He could say, look, you're working on Saturday. And I'm a good, quote-unquote, worker if I respect you. Same way with my mum. My mum could tell me something, I'll listen to it. My dad, I'll listen to it. Teachers, no. And again, just because you're a teacher, no. Police officer, no. I don't... The badge, whatever it is, I couldn't work for a boss. The only person I'd ever worked for was my uncle, and I'd listen to him so much so where like he could tell me anything and I'd listen to it because I respect him, and I'm like, nothing that you've ever done in my life's been malicious, so I trust you and I can listen to it. That's another boss, interesting. I'll tell him he has to be quiet and stuff, and he can't shout at me. Like I'm big on that. He can't shout at me. You have to talk to me properly. Even if just because you're older, just because you're who. If I don't know you and I don't respect you, you cannot shout at me. You can't. Impossible.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh here because there's so much of that which is me down to a T. And there's so many examples that I could actually talk on here. But, you know, one of them being, again, another manager of mine in the past who, because she was my boss, she thought she could treat me in a certain way. She thought she could, you know, dismiss stuff that I had to say. She thought that she could invalidate all my feelings. She thought that she could, whatever, all of those things. And then I just thought to myself, you know, like you're a human too, right? You're gonna do the dishwasher the same way that I do it at home. You're gonna go and walk home, or like you're gonna go and see your family. Like you're gonna go and do the same things I'm gonna do. You're gonna go to McDonald's one day. You're gonna go and put the petrol in the car. So why are you treating me like I am something on the floor who's beneath you, who you don't think that you should respect? And because you don't respect me, and you clearly don't respect yourself, otherwise you wouldn't be like that, I can now not respect you.
Yeah, I'm bad at that.
I don't think it's a bad thing though. I feel like if people aren't treating you like human beings, which is another reason in our dance school, we used to have teachers come to me or parents come to me and say, what are you doing with our kids? Because I couldn't get them to listen. Like, why do they listen to you? And I said, like, just try treating them like a human being. Yeah,
like equals. Yeah. But the reason why I say it's bad is because I'll be extra rude and I'll take it further immediately. I'm very stubborn. You can't say that to me. Very big on that. I tell people I didn't like that. If you said, even now, even on the podcast, anytime, if you did something, I'd say, Becky, I didn't like that, you know. Just to let you know, because I'm not saying, I don't think every time someone's trying to disrespect you, I just want you to know how I like to be spoken to. Then if I keep telling you I didn't like that and you keep doing it, now I'm going to be rude to you because now you obviously just don't respect me.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
I'm big on that. I'll just teach people how to do it. Well, not even teach them, just direct you. Hey, by the way, maybe you talk to your friends like that. I don't like being spoken to like that. Yeah, I agree.
And I'm very much the same. Yeah. But mine is not, I will never ever get rude, and I'll never ever shout, and I'll never ever swear, or I'll never do anything like that. But what I will do is walk away, and you'll never see my face again. And I think that's one thing with me is that you push it, and I've got a big threshold, and you push it and you push it and you push it. But my level of self-worth for me is way higher than you shouting at me, being rude to me, whatever. And I've had that, like I've had it bad in the past, in the relationship or whatever, you know, to the point where now I will never, ever, 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 ever deal with that again. No matter how rude I am back to you, you now win. Because now you've reactively gotten out of me what you just were to me, which I didn't like. So therefore, I'm just going to step my ass away. You carry on being rude to no one because I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. No, I hear
and
that.
Now I've gone.
I hear that. I won't shout or swear, but I'll be rude. I'll be rude. I'm not on that. It would never happen again.
Do you feel like that's something that you want to work on, or do you feel like you're just happy with that?
No, sometimes because I don't have a high threshold. My thing is if you're rude I don't know. Tris said to me the other day that he said sometimes I got a stinking attitude.
Really?
Yeah, because but it's always. But the thing is, I'm very, very nice. But if you're not nice, I'll be rude straight away. Bam.
Right.
So sometimes I don't even know if I want to work on it, man. The reason I like it is because people approach me in the way that I like to be approached, or they don't approach me at all, and I like that about my life. It's good. Yeah.
I've got a last
That's
question.
That's fine. Last. Hit me.
What advice would you give to 18-year-old Cam?
to not rush and not to try to do too much in one day. I was very bad at that, in the sense of like I would try and achieve everything in one day, or like my goal would be like 3 months in advance. Like in 3 months, I want to be rich. And then because of that, I would be very, very extreme. And I'm still extreme now, but I'd be too extreme. So it'd be like, I don't know, if fitness was an example, I'd be like, I want to run a marathon in 3 months. And then on day one, I'd be like, okay, cool. So to run a marathon, I've got to run 10 miles on day one. And then day two, I've got to run 10. And then by day 18, I'd be knackered. And then I would just stop. Where I would have been fitter if I said I want to run a marathon in a year and I just ran a mile each day. That's what I would say. That would be my number one thing. I've always been impatient. I'm still impatient now, but now I just know that the quickest way to get there. So I do still want to get there quickly. I'm not someone that says you can't be rich at 18, you got to wait. But try and get rich in 12 months instead of 1 month, which is what I was always doing. I was always trying to hit a quick lick. If I send 1,000 emails a day and I handwrite everyone and I work 24 hours every single day, and that just led me to not only feeling bad about myself, but also just led me nowhere.
I think that's the cycle that I was in, actually. And thank you for sharing that, because I think I'm on that path now where I'm also incredibly impatient. And it's like the best and the worst trait about me, right? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are the same. You want it and you want it yesterday, and like everything you want yesterday. But actually, I think that the act of being patient is one of the biggest skills that any of us in self-development, in financial development, in any of those things, business, self, whatever, can have. Because without it, where do you get? You get in a rut. You get in a place of exhaustion. You 100%. Get in a place of hating yourself and hating 100%. The people around you and arguing with everyone around you and having shit relationships and bad friendships, etc., etc. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for sharing that.
I've got one more thing though.
Go on.
One more thing, just because it came to my head.
Yeah.
I would also say, and I hate this one, I used to hate being told this, but I would say to enjoy the process. The process is more fun than when you actually get there. Doing all the stuff, like if you wanted to make 100 grand and you made it, 100 grand ain't fun. I'm sorry. Like I would say it to my 18-year-old self. I'd come back, I'd say, look, it's not that fun. But making 100 was cool. That's the only other thing I would say.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah, but I know it's hard. Like if you're flat broke and you're in pain, it's hard to tell someone to enjoy the process. But something everyone says, and I don't think I would have even listened to it knowing me at 18, but the process is better. And so enjoy the process and be more patient.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Big up,
This is our
third attempt,
but we're here. And
I think it was worth it, actually.
100%.
I feel like the kitchen vibes have really brought the best out of us.
Homely vibes, man.
Thank you for giving so much of yourself and for being so open, because I know that sometimes when I ask personal questions, Cam's not always...
I don't think it was that personal, you know.
Well, I hope you don't think that I was getting under your skin.
No. It was good.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. No, I enjoyed it thoroughly still.
I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.